And welcome to the DC Coin World International Coin Channel. Today we're going to look at the mystery of the 1987 Philadelphia dime. And we have a bunch of the dimes here, but first let's take a good look at that 1987 dime. And we can see right on the top that says Liberty, Franklin Roosevelt facing to the left, In God We Trust under his chin. Right here we have a JS, and that's for John Sinek, who was the the engraver of the dime. There's a 1987, and the P is for the Philadelphia Mint. And we can see that this one has the P on it, this one has the P, this one has the P. And we can see very clearly that that P is centered exactly over the 7. One line of the P comes down to the front of the 7, end of the P comes down to the back of the 7. And this is the regular mint mark of the 1987 P. See, these are all straight over the top. If we look over here, however, and we blow this one up, we'll see that the P on this one is about halfway between the 8 and the 7. See how it kind of moved over a little bit, the P here? And this is a pretty bad shaped coin in the sense that it got kind of beat. But see how the P is way over there to the left, almost between the two? And then if we go back to this one, it's over there. And one of the ways we see the P here straight over the top of the 7, the P here in between the 7 and the 8. And that's not as far as it goes, because if we go over even a little further, we see this one's exactly between the 8 and the 7. So if we look at this mint mark here, P, which is straight over the top where it's supposed to be, and then this one over here, which is like halfway between, we're going, hey, wait a second, what's going on with the P's at the Philadelphia Mint? And we can, if we look at these two, see how clearly that's right over the top and that's in the middle? Well, some people say, well, maybe that's a D. I should say that I have not seen any D's that have been offset like that. And I do have a D here, and this is how the D should look. And this is not a D here. This is a misshapen P. Some of this might be post-mint damage from the misshapen part, but it certainly didn't move it over between the 8 and the 7. I looked this up online, and it turns out that there's quite a few of these around. In fact, if you look on eBay at the 1987s, you'll see that it moves from here to here in the middle to here way over in the middle. And then it also does something else that's interesting. So this is a regular one again. It starts to tilt on some of them. So see how this P actually starts going to the left a little bit? It actually tilts, and this one tilts way to the left. So it's at the right point on the 7, but it tilts. So instead of going straight up and down, see that tilt there? And you can see it very clearly on this one. This one's going straight up and down. This one kind of going off to the side. At quite an angle there too. In fact, that's not as far as that angle goes. It can even go further over. And I'll show you on these ones. So these ones are tilted also. See how, especially this one, see how much of a tilt it's on there? It's way up high off the top of the P. See, there's a lot more space between that P and this P. See the little bit of space there and a huge amount of space there. See how this one tips over, this one tips over. Supposed to look like this. This one, it's a little further up and it's tilted. This one, it's a little closer and it's tilted. Essentially, we have the tilt like this one. We have the regular, the other tilt like this one. So that one's just a different kind of tilt. See how that's way off. We have the regular, which I'll bring in over here. We have the one where it's centered almost between the 8 and the 7. And then we have this really weird one where it looks more like a D than a P. So when we start looking for the Philadelphia Mint mark from 1987, we get all kinds of different variations. Out of about 50, 30 something were exactly like this. And then we started getting some tilted, some in the center, and then some way over, like this tilted the other way. And I've seen some online where the P's actually over the top of this 8. And so I don't know what they did. I looked it up online, and I said, is there anybody that kind of knows what happened with these? And one of the Numista websites, there was a guy named Esser Prof who said that all the dies for these are made at the Philadelphia Mint, and then after the dies are made, they stamp on the mint mark. And so he assumes that when they stamp the mint mark on, they have to do it on a number of different dies. And somebody probably in 1987, and he was talking about 1988 also, somebody, when they stamped the mint mark on the dies before they used them, they stamped them individually by hand with a rod, and that rod was not held steadily, hand stamping the P onto the die. And so a bunch of these different variations came about from that hand stamping. All right, well, that's all we have today from the DC Coin World International coin channel. Look for some 1987 dimes and see if you can find them also with these different variations. We also started seeing this when we looked in the 1988 dimes. And so look for some of them also, because the 1988 dimes have some of the same variations as the 1987 dime. Some of the centering, some of the tilting, and some of the very, very interesting mint marks that I've ever seen on U.S. coins. All right, have a great day from the DC Coin World International coin channel.